everyone, welcome into AZ Audibles. I'm Claudia Collins, and joining me are Zach Elvira and Eric Sorensen. This week, we're heading into the Open Division semifinals, and we're talking about which team we think is more likely to upset. So is it going to be Liberty against Chandler or Saguaro against Hamilton? Zach, who do you think is more likely to get the upset?
I think right now, after me seeing them last week, it has to be the Liberty Lions. Anytime you have somebody named Jack Stam that is, manning your defense, I think anything is possible. He is one of the absolute most electric players I've ever seen play high school football. He can come downhill from the safety spot and lay people out if he needs to. He can basically cover the entire field. He is so impressive on the field and obviously just, again, one of the best players I've ever seen, and also a really good kid, humble, respectful, all of those things, which obviously is a really good combination when you're playing high school football. But on the other side of the ball, they have a ton of weapons. First off, the two quarterback system with Dom Ochoa and Navi Bruson. Navi was really the star of the show against Basha in that upset that Liberty had last week in the Open Division quarterfinals. It had some really key plays that allowed Liberty to really extend their lead late in the game and eventually run away with the upset against Basha. Going back to the defense, Michael Gardner is a monster on that defensive line. He's going to be a handful for any team that Liberty plays. But no, I really do think the Liberty Lions are the team that has the best chance at an upset. We all know what happened last year in the Open Division semifinals. Liberty was a 2-point conversion away from knocking off the Wolves. Can it happen this year? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Zach, I'm going to have to agree with you actually across the board here. They've already kind of embraced that underdog role, and I think they're just taking it and running with it. I talked with Jordan Spurgeon on our team who was at this Basha game last week, and so they've already gotten the upset. And one of the notes that he gave me was that this team is just as big and strong as Hamilton and Chandler, which is what made them beat Basha so easily. And if you recall, a few weeks ago, I was thinking Basha could have been the 2 seed here and honestly been one of the Open Division championship teams. So the fact that they already took them down kind of tells me I don't want to choose against Liberty. I also made that mistake before, so I won't make it again. And the other thing here is they're very familiar with Chandler. They've played them 4 times in the last 2 years, so they kind of know what they're up against. Is this the year that they take down the Wolves? I also don't know, Zach, but I think that it's the more likely upset here. So, Eric, do you agree with us? Is it unanimous?
It's not unanimous, but I do agree with a lot of your points. I mean, the key word, you both mentioned it, familiarity. I mean, Liberty knows Chandler. They played them last year. They played them this year, and it was a 21-21 game at half. Flip it to the other side. You can say the same thing about Saguaro and Hamilton. 2 years ago, Saguaro beat Hamilton in the Open 8 semifinals in a close game. Last year, the shorthanded SaberCats lost at home to Hamilton in a game they really thought they should win. This year, it wouldn't shock me if the SaberCats won. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but when you look at Saguaro, especially their offensive line, they start 4 seniors. What's the strengths of Hamilton's defense? The Huskies' defensive line. So I think that is where this game could be dictated. Saguaro offensively has been fairly balanced. Now they have Devin Dampier. They're running sort of a 2 quarterback system. It's been effective. They really had no problem last week with Cactus. It's a huge difference facing Hamilton. But if they can stay balanced, if they can stay ahead of the chains, and if they can find a way to make Nico Marchio make mistakes like he did last year against Saguaro, the SaberCats definitely have a chance. They're not going to be scared playing Hamilton. We all know that.
Eric, I have to agree with you on that one because Saguaro is one of those teams that they'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. Coach Mons has basically instilled that type of mentality with his program. And I made the mistake of choosing against Saguaro last week. So SaberCats, I do apologize for that one. This week, I'm not going to give a pick, but I do believe that one of the key to the games for Saguaro, and I think you already mentioned it, Eric, how are they going to deploy the 2 quarterbacks? Ridge Dutchakal is obviously a Division I quarterback. He is very talented. Devin Dampier kind of took over the reins, though, last week, especially in that run game aspect. How are they going to try to exploit that Hamilton defense that has a very, very good defensive line? Will they be able to run on them? Will they be able to open up holes? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I do think if Saguaro is able to win this game, it's going to come down to those 2 quarterbacks and how they're able to perform against a very solid defense in Hamilton.
And I think Saguaro has really just kind of been laying in the weeds. I mean, they lost a game at Chaparral that they honestly should have won. And they've kind of been in the background a little bit, which isn't a bad thing because Saguaro has always been the hunted. And now they get to become the hunter. Totally different aspect for them being the quote unquote underdog. I think it's going to be a great game this weekend.
Well, I think the AZ Audibles consensus is that we're just going to have to wait and see this Saturday, December 4th, in the semifinals, who ends up in that Open Division Championship game. If you want more AZ Audibles, you can head to sports360az.com.